Hey guys, it's me, Hades Reviews here. Today we're going to be doing a response to another feminist video. A sort of like feminist, non-feminist debate on Sky News. Now, if you don't know what Sky News is, it's basically like the Fox News, but over in Britain. And it's a response to the clip is a response to Tim Hunt. He's a scientist. I forget what field he's in, but he's a scientist, and he made a kind of a sexist comment, and they're basically here to debate about his comment. So let's get right on with the video.
Now, a Nobel Prize winner has been criticised for suggesting women scientists shouldn't work with men. So Tim Hunt said the problem with girls is that you fall in love with them and they cry when you criticise them. He admitted being a chauvinist pig, but does that excuse his comments? Well, with us is columnist and broadcaster Milo Yiannopoulos, as you can see, and also Dr. Emily Grossman, who is a maths and science teacher and tutor. Who'd like to start, Doctor?
I think the issue here is that his comments are irresponsible in an environment where there is such a strong gender imbalance still in the sciences. I work as a teacher and tutor, and I'm really passionate about encouraging young women, girls at school to study science, to go into sciences, and there's still an environment where a lot of young girls still feel that science isn't for them. There's a historical reason for that. Back in the Renaissance time, women were told that their brains were...
Stop it there, Missy. You know you're dishonest. Come on, let's be honest here. You've seen all the facts. You've seen all that shit, right? Just stop it. The Renaissance. The Renaissance ended at the early 1600s. I'll put up a timeline picture, alright, boy? And you're still going to blame it on that. Are you kidding me? Are you mad? And you seem to be successful in the way you're saying, oh, I want more women to get in there and I'm encouraging them. Maybe the fact that they just don't want to do it in the first place. Maybe they just see someone, they don't want to do it, so they walk away to another subject that they like. What's wrong with that? Like, your perfect world is the fact that women are in, like, much more women are in everything. It seems, that's what feminists seem to be like. Women are, like, better in everything. That's just not how it's going to be in the world. There are subjects that men are going to be better at, and there are subjects that women are going to be better at. Or the fact that neither of them are, like, they're all even. Women and men are even in the job that they choose. But the men choose the other one, and the women choose the one that you don't want. It's just gonna be like that sometimes. The world doesn't go perfect to your image of it. All right, so just stop. All right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go light a ciggy, bruv.
We're too soft to have a powerful skull, that exercising our brains would shrink our ovaries. We're still coming back from that.
How are women still coming back from that? Seriously, like how? Like, it blows my mind, the fact that you think that, oh wait, 400 years ago, we're still coming back from that shit. That was like, what, 4, 5 generations, maybe even 6, probably 6, more or less 6, generations ago, and you're still blaming it on that? Really? You're still coming back from that? You want to rewrite that, mate? You want to re-say what you were going to say? So shut up, mate, alright?
And we're in an environment where we're desperately trying to dispel these stereotypes, to dispel the image that science and maths is more for boys than it is for girls. And these types of comments, potentially harmless in terms of intent, are actually really reinforcing these stereotypes that we're trying to get away from in terms of encouraging girls to go into science as a career.
So someone said about something that you were going to do, and you left it. You just left it altogether. Are you mad? It's not the fact that there's no barrier in the way. You can go reach that goal. Now, if you're a male or woman to go into science, sorry, yeah, no, I said male or woman. I thought I said girls or woman for some reason. Yeah, no, but you can reach that goal in as amount of time you want it to do. There is no barrier. Even if someone says something, just discard it, because you can go into the subject. It doesn't matter what other people say. You can go into the subject, mate. Do you not understand this? Is this woman retarded? I feel like she is, to be fair.
Well, you hear this a lot from scientists. You hear it a lot, in particular, from female scientists. But the fact is that there is some reason to suppose that there is an advantage to being a man in certain subjects. There's reason to suppose that gender essentialism, biological determinism, whatever you want to call it, the fact that there are male brains and female brains.
I understand this. I really do. I agree with this 100%. I feel like there is some sort of gender barrier with some subjects, because in evolution and the way we grew up as a species, the women took care of the children more because they were, they birth and they will feed on their mother, as you do, and that's just fixed out for the whole time we've been a species. It's not until like recently, I wouldn't say recently, I said, well, recently in the Earth's time, that they have just said that nah, mate, we can do the same, and you can do the same. But that's why there's more women in stuff like childcare business, and going to like was it schools, and teachers are. I've heard this. Teachers are mainly women. You can just see that in your school. If you did go to school, you can see that in school it was mainly women. Let's be honest here. There wasn't many male teachers, and no one says anything about that. I find it irrefutable that they will say, "Oh, mate, we need some more," even though you're not saying anything about this subject. You're worrying about this subject. It's just not good, alright?
May indeed have some basis in science. Now, this is sort of thrown out of the window completely by feminists and female academics who just refuse to accept that there's any reason whatsoever why there might be a gender imbalance. Two things on that. One, actually the science is very much still out on that. And two, if you look at equality in society, if you look, for example, at Bangladesh versus Norway, what you notice is the number of women in science and technology subjects actually goes down as societies get more equal, because women simply don't make the same choices that female academics and feminists would like them to. Women actually don't want to go into the sciences on the whole, and when they have every option available to them, they tend to choose not to.
I don't think that's the issue.
Yes, it is. That is totally the issue. Did you not just hear his amazing points there? I do respect this guy. I feel like some of what he says is a bit, iffy on my part. But like in this sort of place, he's perfect. He is perfect on arguing against feminists, having a debate with them, and completely thrashing them, basically, which he does in this one. I might add. I'm not biased, guys. Right? Not biased. But yeah, his point is definitely that women do not choose the same as men. That's just how it is, and you can't stop that. You can't stop the way people think and that gender really thinks. Alright, so, shut up, mate.
I think it's about confidence. I think women suffer, again, we're not talking about all women, we're talking about some women, we're talking about some men, from lack of confidence and from something called imposter syndrome, where we attribute our successes to external factors and we lack the confidence to actually believe that we are good enough.
So if you don't have enough confidence, then that's everyone else's problem. That's everyone else's problem, apparently. I don't see how, in the first place. And if you're not confident enough, I would go to a specialist to get your confidence up, probably, or someone that's like, yeah, you should do it. Because you do that. You as a teacher, you do that to your students. And does it work? No. No, it does not. So why would it even matter? Why, like, if you can show me some facts about you actually in your school, in your class, more women go into sciences, I would love to see that. I would really love to see that. But you're always you're always on debates, so you never spend time with your class. So shut up about you making confidence for your students, piece of fucking shit, mate. Kill yourself. I think I might actually kill myself first. Okay, guys.
Sorry to interrupt you, but if you're going to get put off a career in science because of an offhand comment from a Nobel Prize winner, how committed were you really in the first place to being a scientist? I mean,
women learn in a very different way. Women learn, again, not all women, but majority of women learn in a way that's supportive, that's nurturing, that's encouraging. I see that in the students that I teach. I see the girls that I teach go into mixed-sex sixth forms and get totally put off because they're in a sink or swim environment, they're in a competitive environment, they're too frightened to put up their hands.
I just want to add, men are subjugated to challenge. I do this with my friends all the time. I try to get better grades than they do, and I see nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with a bit of challenge between you and your friends or the other students around you. And this is a thing between men and women. I feel like women do help each other a lot. I see that a lot, but between me and my friends, we're like, mate, fucking kill him. And between girls, they're like, oh, let me come in your house and, study. There isn't any statistics about this. This is just my opinion. You can take it as you will. But I see that anyway, And the fact that you're saying, women need to be nurtured, they need to be, They need to be set in a different environment to men. Isn't that like completely from your point, from his all he said was that women work different in a science environment, and you're completely just making that point absolutely 100% true.
So we shouldn't have competitiveness in science. Competitiveness in science is bad. We should segregate the sexes, really. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Absolutely
much
not.
Better, in fact, if what Tim Hunt said was exactly true. What you're saying is that gender segregation would be a good thing. You're saying mixed classes, the competitiveness is bad for women. So maybe he's right. Maybe we should separate labs out into female scientists and male scientists. That seems to be what you're saying.
Yeah, he just added the thing I said. We didn't. I kind of did. But yeah, no, she keeps on coming back to the same point. I feel like she just goes round and round in circles, just so that her point doesn't look irrelevant, which it does. And this guy is pissed. Like before this, I could see him like, this bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill her. With words, mate, power with words.
Important for women to be able to compete in a male environment, but it's important to help those women, to support those women in terms of confidence and in terms of self-belief.
So males are just this complete buff of a man, every single male. They don't deserve any help at all. That's what you're saying here. Like, women are, what, less educated? That's not true, because if we see the whole grand scheme of things, women seem to do a lot better in education. So, you know, are you ever going to get off your high horse? I just want to know that, to be honest.
Because women are more naturally self-reflected. Again, not all women, a lot of men are like this too.
Sort of a weird...
I would like some evidence, you know, they could have Sky could have shown up some evidence, not just for her, for him as well. He had some key points and no evidence to where to get it from, so I just want that, you know, just want to say that.
Sexist position to take, isn't it? So women can't really take it, so we need to be extra specially careful around them. And we need to treat them with
different for gay men and lesbian women?
I don't know what point this bitch trying to fucking pull out the bag here. This is how I saw it. That she thinks that gay women and gay men are sort of subjugated, but you wouldn't really know if a man or a woman is gay just by looking at them. If you're going for a job interview or something like that, you can't really tell just by the first look if they dress like everybody else in the room. That sounds a bit, you know, iffy, but yeah, you know, it's true. They do kind of wear different sort of clothing. Some of them do, at least, you know, most of them I'd say. But yeah, anyway, go on.
Well, it's brilliant being a gay man because you can get away with murder. You can do anything. I mean, there's the one respect in which identity politics is brilliant. You know, as a gay man or a lesbian, you can basically get away with murder. You can be bitchy, you can be sarcastic, you can be rude and abusive, and you can do whatever the hell you like, and nobody complains. Women, I think, really, you know, until very recently, until possibly the last half decade, it was certainly true that women had all kinds of structural disadvantages in society. That simply isn't true anymore. It's not true, for example, when women go for jobs in science, technology, and mathematics. You know, a study came out, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago in the US saying that women have a 2-to-1 advantage over men with the same qualifications because everyone's so desperate.
And I also just want to add to his point, you also are more likely to get the job if you are an attractive woman. That's just it. I will put an article in the link description, tells you all about it. It's a very interesting article, I might add, has lots of facts. Among that is if you're an attractive woman, you're more likely to get a job. You know, down in the description if you want to read it.
Hire women. The reality that people experience, you know, going for jobs and in the working life is actually that women are sort of structurally advantaged, not disadvantaged.
A study
and that's happened very recently.
Also to show that out of 65 countries, the UK has the highest discrepancy between confidence amongst boys and girls in terms of how good they feel that they are. Girls are coming out of school and not going into those careers because they feel they're not good enough.
Okay, so out of 60 countries, you say that Britain is highest in being like, oh mate, I can't do it. So I'm guessing that in the other countries they get the same comments as well. They get the same, basically like men should be in the sciences, only men. And you're saying that Britain is the highest. Keep off doing that. So why is it my fault, or people that saying this, that the person that thinks that, oh, I can't do it, is like not worthless. Like, how is it my fault that they don't have self-confidence?
Feel they're not welcomed.
But
into
women
those
are in
careers.
the,
And
women
actually
in the
those
majority at
skills, those very
universities.
skills, those very qualities that, yes, women do cry. Some women cry. I have cried when I've felt out of my comfort zone, when I have felt afraid. But actually, that didn't make me any less good. I cried when I came out of all my exams at Cambridge, and I did better than the boys. And actually, women cry because they're sensitive. Again, not all women. Some women, lots of men too, because they're sensitive, because they're self-reflective, because they're empathic, because they're passionate, and they're willing to take on criticism. They're
So
willing to look at themselves. Excuse me.
So Tim Hunt's right.
So you got better results than the men, and you're still crying about it. I don't know, like, that sounds a bit weird. If you're better than, like, the majority of people, I'm gonna guess that's the majority of the people. She's like, me, I'm a science teacher. So what you're saying is that we should huddle around women and make sure they have self-confidence. Don't you think, like, as you said, men do it as well, so why are you saying it just about women? Because that's how you're making it sound, at least, you know. Not being sexist or anything, apparently. Fucking hell. Like this woman is. Jesus. So we should huddle around them, guys, alright? Seriously, like any girl, you know, make sure she has self-confidence, alright? Or you're a bad person.
He's right that women cry, but the implication that that makes us at a disadvantage, that puts us in as people who shouldn't be going into...
I don't think he made that implication. What
That's
he
not the
was
point.
saying is that he
irresponsible to make
finds...
that kind of
No,
comment in an environment when we're
he never
hoping
said
to
that makes
encourage
women
girls
less
to go into
competent.
science.
What he said was, he finds it personally a distraction. He said that he finds it a distraction in
his
science.
issue rather than
Yeah, of
women.
course, and he's a silly old man who doesn't understand the latest, you know,
But he
the
should know
latest sort
better
of
to be
feminist
making that
politics
kind
on
of
this.
comment.
What is it?
So apparently he should know better to make that comment. So, you know, it's freedom of speech. Fuck you, mate. Fuck you.
What is he, 73 years old?
He's
we can't
certainly
expect him...
a septuagenarian.
Right, we can't expect him to be up on the, you know, all of that kind of stuff.
He's in a position
and I
of
think
responsibility.
What we're witnessing really is a comment that would be perfectly unobjectionable if it were over the dinner table, or if it was, for example, your own granddad.
It wouldn't be unobjectionable if there were young girls present who were studying maths and science at school. And
Andrew
thought,
Short has tweeted to say, is it because he's made these comments because, leaning to your point, because he's a septuagenarian and he's from a bygone era, sexism in the modern world has no place, but he is an old man, and so do we have to forgive him?
Of course, I'm not talking about him and his comments as him as a person. I'm talking about what it does in terms of the environment that we're bringing girls up into, and a responsibility that people in positions of authority like he is to actually not perpetuate these negative images about women.
First of all, sorry for the long clip. I usually wouldn't show that long, but I feel like it was needed a little bit. They were both on the same page. There was nothing really there to chat about. I could have added like maybe a funny comment, but still, her point that we should still huddle around women no matter what. We need to make sure they're okay with everything. It doesn't matter about the men. It doesn't matter about anybody else but females. So, what
It's really damaging. When girls do a maths test in an environment where they've been told that they're not going to be as good as girls, if they do a maths test in that environment and they identify themselves as girls, they actually write their name as female on the test, they won't do as well.
I'm going to say this, there are differences biologically between men and women. They're going to feel apparently more emotional, as she said. She pointed that out. I'm just saying that, you know, just generally. And that we're supposed to be like, nah, I mean, it doesn't exist. Like, that is a personal opinion of yours, and a personal, if someone, like, if a female's like, mate, I won't do good on this test, that's their problem. When I go into a test, I feel confident. I may not do well still, but I still feel confident while walking in there. I feel chill. That's all I do. And you're like, nah, mate, women don't have that. Nah, that's their problem. That's not my problem. I should solve myself, or anybody should solve that. Mate, just get some self-confidence, you fucking whore.
Yeah, but you see, you're conflating two different things. You know, it is true that teachers in general mark boys down, but it's true that in STEM subjects they mark boys up. When you sort of do the blind tests, you know, when teachers know the gender of the person who's studying, boys get marked up in the sciences.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the stereotype threat, which is when girls identify themselves as being female by writing their own name on the top of the test, they will do worse. It has been shown that they will do worse.
How about if they just don't put their name then? If you're saying that a name is going to change anything, really, that they will do worse. That is self-confidence. It's not a name. It's not a name. Let's be honest here. If I wrote my name and felt bad about it and going to do bad on the test, I'd be fucking retarded. Like, literally, I'd be diagnosed with retardedness, or whatever it is, you know.
Because they know that they feel that they will
But women
probably
perform
fail
better at
in an
university.
There's a key point there. They feel like they're going to do bad. If you just, well, like, that's my problem, that they feel something. That's absolutely insane.
More girls are going. Well, okay, so we have to ask.
Girls perform better at
You have to ask
university.
if this is really a problem. More women are going to university. They're getting higher grades at school. They're getting higher grades at
20%
university.
of all
More
A-level
women
physics
graduate.
students are
Women in their
women.
30s
20%.
earn more than men for the same work in their 30s in the UK and the US now. They are 2 to 1 more likely to get a job with the same qualifications. Where's the structural bias against women here? I don't see the problem here. What I do see actually is a very reasonable complaint from a lot of young men.
Great points by him anyway. This is kind of a different one. Her whole argument is the fact that she keeps on coming back to this one point, and that it's the feeling of women, apparently. It's your feeling. Like, if someone said something to me mean, just forget about it. That's what everyone should do. Man up and stop acting like a fucking child when you do that shit. Just get over it. Seriously.
Not my generation, maybe, you know, I'm sort of 10 years older than them, but from a lot of young men who are going to university, going into the workplace, and they don't recognise the world you're describing, because it's not their experience. When they go for a job, they are discriminated against because people are desperate to hire women. When they go to university,
A-level
more
physics
women
students.
are doing better all around them, and they feel as though being held up to feminine standards of behaviour, being whacked on Ritalin because they're too boisterous in the playground, or not getting the same support that women do at university, that society
and what
actually
about mental health
architected
issues that men
very much
have?
in the other
Would you
direction.
like to make a final point, and then I'll come to you.
Of all A-level physics students, only 20% are girls. How can you possibly say that we're in an equal environment where girls are coming out and studying science as much as boys are? We are absolutely not, and we need to make sure that girls feel that science is for them, and it's not just for boys, and they're not being pushed out of it because of who they are, and because they might cry, and because they might be self-reflective.
I believe I said this in another video, but I feel like stereotypes are actually a good thing in the long run. Like, it's going to give me, you know, a tiny tidbit, maybe, not a big one, of what the person is going to be like general. Because there are things generally like to Mexicans and American people, and, you know, every country in the world and every type of person in the world, they have a sort of panache, as you would say, and I said that in another video. And the fact that she's saying, oh, it's not feeling for women, sorry, get over it. Like, seriously, someone said something bad, get over it. If you're being so emotional that you're like, where, he says something mean. Like, it shouldn't be for you in the first place, and work shouldn't be for you in the first place.
But this is based on an assumption that there ought to be some kind of gender parity. My suggestion is that there isn't. We don't complain when women dominate subjects like nursing. We shouldn't complain when men dominate subjects like physics.
That's it, that's the end of the video. There is a little bit, but I'm going to cut it off. It's just like, go on Twitter and argue. And his last point was absolutely amazing. I really didn't think about that before I made this video. The fact that they don't complain. I have, like, sort of in other things, like you know, wearing clothes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the long run, my friends. Bye bye, amigos.